Welcome back. In this video, we're going to take a second, closer look at the event loop. This is one of the most important parts of the Node runtime. Why is it so important? The event loop is responsible for handling all those callback functions in your Node programs. Those callback functions which allow Node to execute code asynchronously. It's this event loop that allows your Node program to do multiple things all at once, even though JavaScript is a single-threaded language. So how exactly does the event loop work? What does it look like? When you start executing some program using the Node runtime, a piece of code starts running. This piece of code is a loop inside of libuv. That loop is called the event loop. You guessed it. This event loop, like every event loop, is a piece of code that looks something like this. We have a while loop that runs as long as some condition is true. For the event loop, it checks if the Node process should exit. And if the process shouldn't exit, so say some flag should exit is false, our event loop calls a function to process events that have been sent to the event loop. Something like process events. So our loop checks if your code is done executing and the Node process should exit, and if not, it processes all the events, all the callback functions that are called by your Node program. If there's no events, the function here waits until there is one. It waits until your program triggers one of those callback functions, at which point it will execute that function, passing off any hard work to the operating system or to that thread pool. When it's done processing all the events that it currently has, it'll start all over again. That's it. This loop runs while Node is running and processes all the events happening in your Node programs. Now, the code you see here isn't exactly the event loop code that Node uses. The actual loop lives in libuv and is implemented in the C programming language, not in JavaScript. But it follows the same logic that we see here, processing all your asynchronous callbacks until Node is ready to exit, when there's no more code for Node to run. All right, now that we're aware what an event loop looks like, there's only one piece that's missing. How does the event loop process events? What does Node's process events function do? And what kinds of events does it actually handle? Let's find out in the next video. I'll see you soon.